Hi, my name is Naman and I'm going to be your instructor for this course. This course is on coding with ChatGPT-5. OpenAI just released their new flagship model, ChatGPT-5, and it has impressive coding capabilities for building apps, web apps, and websites. In this course, we're going to be building multiple full-stack applications from start to finish using AI. By the end of this course, you will be capable of building any app or any website that you want with ChatGPT without writing even a single line of code by yourself. Alright, so to get started with using GPT-5 for coding, you want to log into your ChatGPT account and you're going to see this interface. Now on this interface, you can tell the AI what you want to build. So for our first app, let's build a very good looking to-do list app. So I'm going to say, make me a to-do list app that is super advanced, super good looking, and has a red and black color scheme. Now you can use any color scheme, you can describe whatever you want in your app, but I'm going to keep it as simple as I can for now. So this is just a very basic prompt, and let's just add one more thing. Let's say give it multiple elements on the page, and I want to preview the app here. Right, so I'm going to hit enter, and this is a prompt that I've written in completely natural language. There are no complex terms, so you can feel free to write in whatever way you're comfortable. As you can see, it thought for a couple of seconds to give us a better output, and now it has started coding on the right. So as you can see, it is coding, and this is a speed that a human developer can never match. Now there are a lot of things that I love about the way that GPT-5 codes. First of all of the code is entirely transparent, so you get to see everything that the AI is coding while it's coding it. And that's a great way to learn how to code if you don't already know how to code, because you can see what the AI is doing. Also, it gives you a very good idea of what goes on behind the scenes and how the AI actually built the app for you. So as you can see, it is coding pretty nicely, a pretty good speed, and since we asked for an advanced app, it might take a little while. So let's just wait for it to finish coding our app and let's see how it looks. Okay, so now it has coded my app for me. And on the left, you can see it is saying done. I created a live preview of your super advanced red and black to-do app on the canvas titled super advanced red and black to-do app. So open the canvas to interact with the app, play with the Kanban, quick add, composer model, calendar mini, and stats. So I'm going to click on run code right over here, and now it's going to load the app that it just coded for us. Alright, so as you can see, it has given us the app. It looks pretty good. It's exactly what we asked for, a red and black to-do list app. So as you can see, these are all of the tasks that I have over here. And if I want to add a task, I can click on this button right over here. And let's say I want to add a task to code with GPT-5. Alright, and the note is do it ASAP. And the priority is super high, and I am doing this right now. Alright, so I'm going to click on add, and as you can see, it is right over here in my tasks section. So it also shows me the number of tasks over here, right over here, 5 total, 4 open, 1 done. And I can open these to see the details for each individual task. And it's a pretty good app. It has a lot of details just like we asked for. So as you can see, let's go back to our prompt. So I asked for a to-do list app, it's given us that. Super good looking, this looks pretty nice. Red and black color scheme, as you can see, and multiple elements on the page, as you can see over here. So I can search, I can sort, and there's a lot of different features here like we asked for. So now this is a very basic version of our app, and if we want to make it even more advanced, all we have to do is reiterate. Now, vibe coding, or coding with AI, is all about reiteration, which means telling the AI what you want it to do next. Do you want it to add something, remove something, or change something from the application that it's coded for you? So now let's say I want to remove this button right over here. I can say that to the AI, and the AI will do that for us. So that's pretty much it for our first app. This was just to give you a demo of how to prompt and how it gives us an application. Now, if you're interested in it, you can play around with the app that ChatGPT has built for us. So if I want to open this and I want to delete this, I can do that. And you can see that the app looks pretty nice. It's a pretty good looking app. So this is correct. This is the accurate date and the accurate day. And as you can see, it is completely adjusting to whatever I'm doing in the app. So all of it is accurate, all of it is working, and this is pretty good. So if I click on high priority, it gives me the high priority tasks first. And if I click on due today, it gives me the due today tasks. So none of them are due today. And if I go to all tasks, it gives me all tasks again. So it is organized, clean, and fast, and that is pretty much true. Okay, so now for our next app, let's build a complex game. I'm pretty sure all of you have played Tetris, or if you haven't played it, it's a very simple, good-looking game with a bunch of colors and blocks, and it's a pretty nice game. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask GPT-5 to develop that game for us. So I'm going to say, make me a Tetris game that I can play here using Canvas. And I'm going to hit enter, and now let's see what GPT-5 does. So as you can see, it is thinking longer, which is a very good feature, and it has now started coding our app. So as you can see, it is plotting a bunch of things. It's coding a lot of things for our app, a lot of which I don't understand, and that's okay because I can ask ChatGPT to explain the code to me later on, or I can just go with the flow and use the app that it's giving me. So let's wait for it to finish coding our app, and as you can see, it is commenting everywhere it's writing a separate function or something else. So that's pretty nice, and it gives us a good understanding of what's happening. So let's just wait for it to finish writing our code. This is a very, very impressive speed. This matches a lot of other coding models. So this is pretty impressive from OpenAI. As you can see, it's now giving us the comments for background, grid cells, and everything that the game contains. So now it's saying draw active piece, and you can see the code for that, then the grid lines, subtle, the code for that. So you get to see what the code is for each individual part of the application, and that is something that is super, super helpful. All right, so it's coded our app for us, and now it's saying on the left, done. I created a playable Tetris React component in the canvas, move and soft drop, arrow up rotates, space hard drops, and P pauses or resumes, R restarts, start button begins the game, and all of this. So let's click on run code and play the game. All right, so let's just wait for the game to load, and once it's loaded, we will start playing the game. Okay, so now the game has loaded, and I'm going to click on start right over here, and as the game is started, I can now move this. So if I can move it right, I can move it left, and if I press space, it hard drops the next component. So I can press space again, and I can keep pressing that and keep playing. So I'm not actually going to play the game, I'm just going to show you how it works. So I click this, and it gives us that. So you can see that it is a very complex game because it's actually indicating what's coming next over here, and it looks pretty decent. It looks like a pretty good game. There's controls here, there's buttons over here for pause, start, and restart. So I can drop in a bunch of these here by pressing space. That can go down all the way over here. And let's drop another, so I'm going to hit space, and it drops another, move that to the right or to the left, and that's pretty much the game that we've created. So now you can play this game. Actually, you can play it with friends, and you can add multiple features here. So if I want to utilize the space and add another game so that 2 players can play it, we can do that as well. So if I want to add one Tetris frame over here and one over here, we can do that as well. So it's a pretty cool game, and yeah, that's pretty much it for making a game with GPT-5. All right, now let's try to build an actual utility app. So for example, let's take Microsoft Excel. If I want ChatGPT to develop a clone or my own version of Microsoft Excel or a spreadsheet software, we can do that as well. So I'm going to say, make me an MS Excel clone. And as you can see, I'm writing exactly what comes to my mind. I don't have to frame it in any other way. GPT-5 is very good at understanding your natural language. So whatever's in your mind, whatever you want to express to the AI, you can tell it directly. So I'm going to say, make me an MS Excel clone that I can work on in Canvas. Give it a green and white color scheme. Right, and I'm going to hit enter, and let's see if GPT-5 can make this for us. So as you can see, it is thinking, and now it is creating our Excel clone. It's thought about the features as well, and now it is coding. So you're seeing all of the things that Excel has if you're reading the comments very carefully. It's talking about the different features that Microsoft Excel has, and that's very important for our app so that we can replicate those features. So as you can see, it is coding at a very rapid speed, and this is some pretty impressive stuff. So all right, so let's see what it says on the left. Done, I created a canvas file named green Excel clone. Open the canvas panel to edit and run it. So it's explaining everything that we have over here. So let's just read what ChatGPT has developed for us. So GPT-5 is saying what you get is a green and white themed Excel-like React app built with Tailwind. So React and Tailwind are some good frameworks used for good design and development. And then it's saying you have an editable grid, default 20 rows by 10 columns, and then basic formula support. So you get to start cell input with equal to evaluate expressions, supports arithmetic, cell references like A1, and sum ranges like this. So this is all stuff that we use in Excel. If you're familiar with Microsoft Excel, then you know exactly what this is and what the uses are. So it also gives us an add row and an add column button and an export CSV button and keyboard niceties. So we can enter moves down, tab moves right, and this is all some pretty cool stuff. So let's click on run code and let's see what our Excel looks like. And wow, this looks exactly like Microsoft Excel, apart from the top, which we can reiterate on by giving AI more instructions, but this is a very impressive spreadsheet application. So if I click here and I type in 1, 2, 3, and I click here, I type in 4, 5, 6, so you can see this is completely working, and the AI has actually gone the extra mile, put in some extra effort for a quick tips section right over here. So you can see that the AI is actually intuitive. GPT-5 not only builds exactly what we asked, but it also adds its own touches, its own features, and its own pretty cool things to our application. And so far, that is pretty cool. So if I click on add column, it adds a column right over here. As you can see, I can add another one, and it's even naming those columns immediately. So this is a very nice, a very clean, and a very good application. As you can see, a lightweight Excel clone. And it even has formula support. So if we want to do some arithmetic, some mathematics here, we can do that as well, as you would in Excel. So you can enter in whatever you want, wherever you want. This is all some pretty cool stuff. Now I can also add a row here. So 21, I add another row, and that should make it 22 and 23. Another row, that makes it 24. So this is all some pretty cool stuff. It's a completely working application, and ChatGPT has developed this in just a couple of minutes. So this is very impressive. Now, if you want to reiterate on this, you want to add some more tabs over here for different features, all you have to do is tell the AI about that. So I'm just going to give you an example of what that prompt might look like so that you can try it out by yourself. So for example, if I want to add an edit button right over here where I can edit a table. So let's add an add button. All right, an add button to add tables, add images, or add anything that you would want to add to a spreadsheet. So what I can say is on the top, add a add button. Add button, which gives us a drop down for a variety of different things which we can add, like tables, charts, graphics, visuals, etc. So this is an example of a prompt that we could use to reiterate. So what I basically mean by reiteration is when the AI, or in this case when GPT-5 presents a version of the application, obviously you're going to like some parts of it and you might want to add some things or remove some things from the application. So reiteration is basically telling the AI what you want to change and doing that a bunch of times until you reach your desired application. So for example, after this, if I want to add some more things, remove a couple of things, if I want to remove this quick tips, or if I want to remove the export CSV button, I can keep telling that to the AI again and again until I have the perfect application that I want. So that's pretty much it. So these are the examples for a prompt that you could write. If I want to remove the CSV button, I can say remove the export CSV button in the top right corner. And that would do that for us as well. So you can do pretty much whatever you want. It's a pretty cool application. It works perfectly. And yeah, so that is Microsoft Excel developed by ChatGPT-5. Now let's see what GPT-5 is like specifically for web development. So let's say build me a website for my brand Mnemonics. Give it a red and black color scheme and make it look super good. All right, so again, a very simple prompt. And let's just also say it is an AI solutions company. Right, so when I say that, I also am going to say I want to preview it here. And I'm going to hit enter, and let's see how GPT-5 builds this. So it instantly started coding. It didn't even think for this one. So let's see what it comes up with. So you can see it's coding in CSS, cascading style sheets. It's loading in images from Unsplash, and it's writing code pretty fast. Let's wait for it to finish coding and designing the website, and then we can try the website out. So for me, when I'm using GPT-5 for building apps and websites, one thing that is really cool is in most cases, I get what I want in one prompt. So it's kind of like one prompt vibe coding. Within one prompt, I get a very nice application.
So let's see here. It's saying, here's your red and black mnemonics AI solutions website with a sleek professional design ready to preview. So let's click on run code and let's see what it looks like. All right. Okay, so wow, this is a pretty decent website. It's not perfect, but it's good. All right, so AI automation, custom AI models, data analysis, and it's fine. All right, so it's not a perfect website, but it's a basic layout that we can reiterate on. So I wouldn't say it's too great at web development, as we can see over here. I've seen a lot of other AI tools do a lot better when it comes to web development, but this is still okay. It's still decent, considering it just did that in less than a minute, and that's a website that it's created. So if we want to change the image, we want to add more elements to the nav bar, we can do that as well. So if I'm going to say over here, add more elements to the nav bar, and I hit enter, so now we can see what's going to happen. So it's editing over here. So if I close that and we go over here, so you can see that it is probably editing the code. So right over here, it's going back in the code and it is editing the code. So that's how reiteration works. It goes back in the code and it makes changes. So now if we run this, it should have more elements in the nav bar, as you can see over here. So now the navigation bar has even more elements. So that's how reiteration works. So now if I want to say, make the website longer so that I can scroll more and there is more content. All right, so I'm going to hit enter. And now let's go back. Let's see what's happening, what it's coding. So we go over here, and as you can see, it is going back and rewriting the code again. So this is perfect for anybody who just wants to keep on reiterating, keep improving their app and making changes. As you can see now, it's adding more sections, our portfolio, careers at Mnemonics, latest from our blog, and even a contact us. So it's made our website even better. So if I run the code now, it's going to show us an improved website with all of those features. So as you can see, it's adding these sections as well. All right, so this is pretty good. You can make changes, whatever changes you want to make. That's the process of reiteration. So I'm just giving these prompts to the AI just to give you guys an idea of how reiteration works if it's your first time vibe coding. And let's say I want to make it look even better. So I'm going to say, add more gradients to the background. Right now it is just plain black. Now, one really good vibe coding practice is to always just suggest one change at a time so that the AI can dedicate its focus towards one change rather than having its focus all over the place for fixing multiple things. So all I've said is just add more gradients to the background so that the background changes from just plain black to more diverse colors so that it looks better. So it's saying I've added smooth red and dark red gradient backgrounds throughout the site for a more dynamic and visually striking look. So this is also pretty cool. It gives you an explanation for everything that it does. So now if we run this code, we can see that there are now gradients, very, very subtle gradients in the back. All right, they're very barely visible. I mean, I do see them, but very, very little. All right, so now another thing that I might want to add is these fonts are very basic, so I can say, make the fonts more attractive. Right now, they are very basic. So I hit enter, and we can go back here, and as you can see, it is making the changes. Now it's changing the fonts here as well. All of this is CSS, so you can see it's changed the fonts, and now it's going back to writing the code. So it's rewriting the code, and once it's done with that, we should see some updated fonts. So it's saying I've updated the typography with the Poppins font, bolder weights, and better spacing to make the site look more modern and professional. So if I run this, there should be some more better fonts over here. So we're just going to allow that. And now it looks a lot better. So you can see that, and now we can also see the gradients in the background as well. So this looks a lot better, the fonts and the gradients in the background. So that's just an example of how you can reiterate. I wouldn't say the web dev is too great. Obviously, websites are supposed to look a lot better, a lot more professional. But this just gives you an idea of how to reiterate while vibe coding with ChatGPT-5. You just keep on giving the AI prompts, and it makes the changes, and then you can run the program again, and you can see those changes reflecting in the preview.
Okay, so my objective until now has simply been to walk you through building a couple of simple, a couple of complex applications with minimal prompting to see what GPT-5 is capable of when it comes to vibe coding within the GPT-5 interface. Obviously, you can use it on other applications as well, But within GPT-5, we had some pretty okay, pretty decent, pretty good applications sometimes, and sometimes not so great. But GPT-5 is obviously a lot better than what we've seen with the previous models. Obviously, we saw that it built a working game, two working apps, and a lot of cool different things that we tried out today. And I just want to look at what OpenAI has said about GPT-5 before ending the tutorial. So OpenAI says that GPT-5 produces high-quality code, generates front-end UI with minimal prompting. Now this is true. I mean, the front-end was decent in most cases, like in our to-do list app, and the UI had minimal prompting. So we only put in 1 or 2 or 3 prompts at max for our entire application, which was pretty decent. So that's nice. And we didn't have to write too detailed prompts, too complex prompts. They were very simple, very natural prompts. And it's saying shows improvement to personality, steerability, and executing long chains of tool calls. Also introduces minimal reasoning and a verbosity parameter in the API. So we go over here, and it gives us a couple of use cases for coding and building with ChatGPT-5. So you can tailor it to your use case, you can adjust the models. There's a lot of things that we can do. And if you want to build apps with audio, you can do that as well. There's a lot of new features that ChatGPT-5 has come out. So as the developer community engages more with GPT-5, I will be releasing more tutorials on some more specific features. But since GPT-5 has just launched, this was a more general overview of everything that we can do with basic vibe coding.